Okay, good morning. This is April 9th, and it's pretty early in the morning. I'm not sure what time it is. 6 a.m., something like that. I'm taking the trash out, going to go check the mailbox. I'm using my Panasonic G7 camera. When I make this little video here, I'm going to go inside and add on to this with the indoor equipment. Add on to this video. Let's see, did I say this is Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas? Can't remember. Looks like it's going to rain. I think I'm going to try something new starting, I think, tomorrow. I believe tomorrow's Saturday. So that would make this Friday, but I'm not sure. But on Saturday, I'm going to get 16 gigabytes. It's supposed to be delivered. 16 gigabytes of memory for my new Chromebox that I bought that came with 4 gigabytes of memory. So I'm going to get 16 gigabytes of memory. Then I'm going to install it, hopefully. Hopefully it's the right memory. Hopefully I don't break the Chromebox when I put it in. And what I'm going to do, I believe, is then I'm going to reboot or flush it or whatever they call it, and which all you do is push a button or whatever, tell the and then it's like a brand new, and then I'll reinstall the most current operating system and some patch. The reason I'm going to reboot the entire thing is I saw on a Chrome site that they said that there had been made major improvements to the Linux install, and so you can run Linux, which I've been doing on that, or sometimes on that, well, for a little bit, and that they'd made a change, an improvement, but that a person needed to, flush it or restart it, whatever, where you're starting back. But so it's not a problem with the Chrome operating system. You just, if you ever would mess it up somehow, you just restart it and log into your Google account, and everything you have is reinstalled automatically. So anyway, so I'm Saturday, whenever that is, if I get that installed, I'm going to then disconnect my desktop computer, shut it down. Desktop computer has Linux Zorin on it, and I've been using that. And then I'm going to hook up the Chromebox, and then the next step, so I'm going to hook up the Chromebox, get it working, which I've done before, but looking at it with a different eye. Then I'm going to order in, when I get the surplus, when I get that money that the government is giving to us, $1,200 per person, I'm going to purchase a iPad and use the iPad for editing videos and doing various things. But I'll also have the Chromebox, and Logitech has, I have a Logitech which I never used it, but I got it in. I think I got it in for free for reviewing purposes in the past. But anyway, they have a Logitech keyboard and mouse that uses Bluetooth, and it has, each of them has the capabilities of you just hitting a button or a switch, a button on the keyboard to switch to a different device. So I can have the Bluetooth keyboard on the desk, I can have the Bluetooth mouse on the desk, I can have the Chromebox on the desk, and I can have the hang on here a second. Let me check the mail. Don't think there's going to be any, but none. Okay, that's good. No bills. So I'll have a mouse that I can use with the Chromebox, and I can use the same mouse just by hitting a button, and use it with the iPod, and with the keyboard I can do the same thing. I can hit a button and use the keyboard with the Chromebox, and I can hit a key and use it with the iPad. And I'm going then to try to use those devices along with this camera, probably. I'm not saying that I won't use, well, I will use also the video capability, a little bit of the iPad. I'm going to see how that, so, and then that's going to be so that's the plan. Now I may totally give up and decide that it just, is not the way to go. But that's my plan. Not sure if you can see the green markings occasionally here on the pavement. The apartment people here keep this place in pretty good repair, so there's some cracks and stuff, and they're going to patch the parking lot. Twice a day starting since my birthday, which was last month, I have started coming out and walking through the parking lot twice. One trip around the parking lot, which you're going to see here in just a second, the conclusion of, because I'm getting close to getting back to my apartment. But because, of course, I know I've been spending way too much time, sitting in that chair in front of my computer. And I'm sure that just walking around this parking lot twice a day, one trip, isn't going to probably make any difference, but it probably can't hurt unless I fall down. I don't think I've fallen down in this parking lot. I have fallen down in the street, stepped off a curb, and luckily traffic was stopped half a block away at a red light, because I had difficulty getting back up. So I try to take it careful on these curbs. So, some advice from an old man. I've given this advice before, eat properly, which I never did, and exercise, which which I really thought that all my life I worked hard, and even 30 years of hospital security, I was, foot patrol, just, walking all the time, doing all kinds of stuff, and I worked for 10 years as a welder. I worked at the post office for a while. We had our own tropical fish shop for 4 years. The wife then, she took care of the paperwork and all that type of stuff, and I filled the fish tanks and cleaned the fish tanks. And I just, but apparently that was not enough. I found that out later in life, that that actually wasn't enough. That I should have done more than just, doing my job. And for years I had 2 jobs, but that wasn't enough, or I wouldn't be in the condition that I'm in right now, probably. Although I'm not sure, I'd probably still have the prostate trouble and maybe the bladder problem. I probably wouldn't have type 2 diabetes if I had eaten properly and exercised. Don't know. Anyway, you young people, honestly, take care of yourself, physically, and mentally. Take care of yourself. Sure, you feel fine now, and maybe you're going to feel great for 20 or 30 years, but I'm 79 years old, and I have arthritis and all types of problems, which I gladly would, now looking back, wish I had done something to prevent this. It's okay, so don't touch the mouse, because I'm going to stop this, but I'm going to continue with another video. Okay, I'm inside. I decided to continue using the Panasonic G7 camera, and it has, I see a line through the speaker. Uh-oh. Well, I think it's working. So as I mentioned, outside, I'm going to try something new. Let's see, today's Thursday, April 9th. And Saturday, I believe, the memory gets here for the HP Chromebox G2. It's 386-7U, and right now it has 4 gigabytes of RAM in it, 32 gigabyte SSD. So let's okay. So here it is. I wonder if we're going to need more light. Hang on a second. Let's see. Number 2 light, I think, is all the way up. Yes. Let's go back, pick number 1 light, turn it on. Whoops. Okay, it's on. Turn it up. Okay, there we go, to 100%. Okay. So here is the Chromebox G2. And as you can see, there's a network, and that's what I'll be going into, the using a network cable. I could use Wi-Fi, but I'll be using the network cable. Okay, now I forget. Okay. Well, there's 3 USB ports, and I was surprised when I first took this thing up. I thought that there's 2 on the front, and now luckily I've got it written down, but here's the front, by the way. So there's the speaker output on the front. There's 2 USB, and they are 3.0 on the front, and a place for a micro SD card, and the on and off switch. And on the back is the network, and I think the first 2 of the 3 USB ports are 3.0. And I think they're 2.0, and then the third one I think is a 3.0. Then there is an HDMI port, I believe. I can't read it, it's too, oh, wait a minute. But, then there's power input. But now up above, I'm not sure how well you can see it, up above the power input is a USB type C connection. Okay, this is the power supply. I don't have that. The rest of the cord is, you know, on the floor by one of the monitors over there. But here is the, now I can't remember now, I think I had to order this extra, please. No, I think it came with it. So anyway, this is US Type C and out to a display port connector. And that is the best way with the Chromebox, and I guess the Chromebook, but that's the best way with the Chromebox if you're hooking up a 4K monitor, which I have as a 4K monitor. And if you go this route, you will get 4K, I believe, at 60 hertz. Where on the, if you went just HDMI out of here into HDMI, it'd be 4K at 30 kilohertz. I'm pretty sure on that. So, whoops, maybe I should have gone the other route and done my normal thing, and then I could have showed you, but I'll do that another time. The keyboard that the Logitech keyboard that I'm planning on getting, and the Logitech mouse that I'm planning on getting. By the way, I have a ton of keyboards. I even have a Logitech keyboard, but I don't believe I'll check. Well, don't move. Be right back. Sorry for that dead air. I should have turned you around and you could have looked at the fish tank. Well, let's do that anyway. Well, no, let's not. Okay, here is the Logitech keyboard that I got. I don't know if I purchased this or if I was sent this for review purposes. Can't remember, but this is the wireless touch keyboard K400 and K400 Plus. But I'm not going to take it. It has a trackpad, by the way, on it. But this is not the keyboard I want to get. And I mentioned that in the the front of this video. So the plan is 4K monitor, the Chromebox, hopefully with 16 gigabytes of memory in it, if I order the right memory, and if I, you must take, I better check the instructions for how to take this apart. So, and then I'm going to get an iPad. I'm not familiar with Apple products. When I worked at CompUSA, we got every one of the store was like #1 in the United States. Puerto Rico would beat us, but I think there was very few Radio Shacks, if any, in Puerto Rico. So we were #1, so every employee got an iPad. Like the thing that held music or whatever. I got it, gave it to my grandson right away. But I'm just not familiar with Apple products at all. But I've been looking at YouTube videos about using it for editing videos and doing all types of stuff. And the way, you're not seeing it now, but if you've seen my other videos, you know, I'll have, like I do now, a screen up here and my picture, you know, my video up in the corner or whatever. That I think the iPad will work better. I can pull screen things up on the iPad. Well, I could still have, yeah, with the camera there. Yeah, I could. From the camera, which is not the greatest, but have it up in the corner. And then I could, with the stylus, pencil, iPad pencil, I could, wonder why that iPad pencil is like $100. I've got this that I bet is you know, anyway, I'm gonna, I'll check and see, but. So what I'll be able to do is, like I've been doing, but when I'm, you know, talking about something, a news item or whatever I'm talking about, I'll be able to take the pencil and circle it, you know, highlight it, change the color, do all type, you know, make notes, do all types of things. So that's my plan. So starting, well, I won't have the iPad by Monday, but that's my plan. And so this is, and so that way also, if I use my Panasonic, what's wrong with it? Is it, looks like this one. If I use my Panasonic G7, then I won't feel like I've wasted so much money. And so I'll be using that. And I think the microphone will work just fine on the Panasonic G7. I actually have a couple, do they call them lapel mics? I think I have a couple. I've never tried them, I don't believe. I have a couple inexpensive little shotgun type, and I think I tried, what was it? I didn't like the one, I think, because it uses like a watch battery type thing in it. And Rhodes or whatever has, I know at least one, and others probably do. Of course, Rhodes might be expensive, but what I want is one that plugs into the, I'll probably get that plugs into the G7 and that uses the power from the G7, so I don't have to worry about is the battery good. So that's the plan for improved. And two, what I'm going to try to do is listen to you, and got a local friend who's an amateur radio operator that we just made contact with each other because of amateur radio, and he recommended too that I make my videos shorter. Of course, it's going to be hard for me to make, But he also, which I have said repeatedly that I know I need to do, and I do need to do, and I've never accomplished it. And that is, when I make a video, have it on one subject. Because, like, I mentioned to him, like we're into amateur radio, and I mentioned to him that years ago in the 1970s, early 1970s, a Radio Shack, it would have been about this size, 4-channel scanner, radio scanner. And back then you had to have crystals cut and crystals put into it. It wasn't programmable or anything. It had 4 crystals. You could put 4 crystals in. And I purchased, 4 crystals. The vocal, the Metro TAC and Center Zone, I think is where I was, and maybe South Zone. So I had that in my pocket, and it actually saved my life. I'd have been killed for sure. So anyway, he said, "Oh, I'd like to hear that story." And I thought, that story is in one of my videos, but I have no idea where in the hell it is. And it's probably in a video that's like an hour and a half. And so that might be the next video that I'll make. I bet I'd have a hell of a time finding, I don't have that old 4-channel, I bet I'd even have a hard time. I bet if I do a search for Radio Shack scanners, and even Radio Shack Pocket, not 4-channel, but I bet I'll find hundreds of Radio Shack scanners, and I've owned a whole bunch of them. My God, I've owned so many computers, because I was talking to him too, and he was mentioning game machines that he had owned, I think. But then I was thinking, my God, I have owned. That'd be another. That'd be good when I get the iPad. I think that'd be good. Make a video and just show you. I have to find it on the World Wide Web. Find the computers. I'll probably forget some, but that I actually owned. I've owned, I don't know how many, I've owned 20, 25, I've owned, I don't know how many, I don't even want to think about how much I spent. I don't want to think about in the early days how much I spent just for modems. Oh man, I'm starting to get upset. Anyway, some changes are coming to here, and we'll be learning together, because I'm going to let you know how it works, how this, I've got this plan, not an original plan with me, because I watched some people who made YouTube videos about using the iPad for making, YouTube videos or making videos and that type of stuff. So that's not original, of course, with me. And I imagine even the thing of using another computer and the same keyboard and the same. So yeah. Anyway, we're gonna either be breaking some new ground, or I'm going to be pulling my hair. Well, that's not going to happen, because that's already happened. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.